targeting over 1,500 banks worldwide. US to have official in Tokyo dedicated to monitoring China. Also the diplomat commented as, yes, Japan will defend Taiwan, and in Taiwan pledges to retain status quo in Taiwan Strait, calls on Beijing to jointly maintain peace. In South China Sea, Philippines may be forced to sue if Chinese Coast Guard arrests trespassers. India sees a chance to make Sri Lanka a virtual province amid its rivalry with China.
Ambassador after Argentina's Milei calls PM's wife corrupt. The government of Spain called its ambassador in Buenos Aires for consultations due to Javier Milei's attack on Pedro Sanchez's wife. 2 days ago, Argentine President Javier Milei begins unusual visit to Spain, snubbing officials.
Zelensky says, our partners fear that Russia will lose this war. French parliament calls for lifting taboo on Kiev's ban on strikes against Russia. Poland invests $2.5 billion into fortifying border with Russia and Belarus.
Giuliani becomes final defendant served indictment among 18 accused in Arizona fake electors case, and Rudy Giuliani getting served indictment at 80th birthday party sparks jokes. Saudi Crown Prince postpones Japan trip citing King's health, Tokyo says. Chuck Schumer and bipartisan group of senators unveil plan to control AI while investing billions of dollars in it. UK opens office in San Francisco to tackle AI risk. UK to push firms on safety in AI models at Seoul Summit. In the UK, Just Stop Oil should be banned like terror groups, report says. Islamic State claims responsibility for gun attack that killed 3 Spanish tourists in Afghanistan. Iran arrests 260 people, including 3 European citizens, for spreading Satanism and nudity. Post-Brexit trade border controls to cost UK $6 billion. For European elections, Brexit would cost €690 billion. In the US, Senator Schumer tells Democrats he'll reintroduce bipartisan border bill.
Trump ends NRA speech with horror warning set to dramatic QAnon music, and Trump floats a 3-terms presidency at NRA convention. Marco Rubio spars with NBC host over 2024 election. Democrats have opposed every Republican victory, and Marco Rubio says he would not accept 2024 election results if it's unfair. In Mexico, Galvez accuses Sheinbaum of using an image of the Virgin of Guadalupe, although she does not believe in God.
Study shows that COVID-related private funding had little effect in 2020 presidential election. Voting machine firm Smartmatic alleges Newsmax has deleted evidence in lawsuit over false vote rigging claims. Half, 52%, of Canadians believe foreign governments have significantly interfered in Canadian elections.
The Moscow Times comments as, Russia unilaterally decides to redraw maritime borders with Lithuania and Finland in the Baltic Sea. Russia likely behind fire that destroyed Warsaw Shopping Center, says Tusk. Tucker Carlson team says reports of Russian TV show are pure nonsense. Pentagon says none of the aid unloaded from U.S. pier off coast of Gaza has been delivered to broader Palestinian population, and more than 569 tons of aid delivered across floating pier into Gaza, says U.S. CENTCOM. UN Food Agency warns that the new U.S. sea route for Gaza aid may fail unless conditions improve.
In the UK, former Attorney General Dominic Grieve fears Murdoch Company may have hacked his phone. Trump campaign starts taking cryptocurrency donations, vows to build a crypto army, and Democrats propose ban on officials receiving payments from foreign governments after Trump probe.
Trump prosecutor Fani Willis wins Democratic primary in Fulton County DA race. In the U.S., Representative Jasmine Crockett files to trademark bleach blonde bad-built butch body after clash with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Trump's attorneys found classified docs in his bedroom months after raid.
China condemns Blinken over Taiwan, sanctions former U.S. lawmaker. ASML and TSMC can disable chip machines if China invades Taiwan, as TSMC's UV machines are equipped with a remote self-destruct in case of an invasion. In the UK, Matthew Trickett, former Royal Marine accused of spying for Hong Kong intelligence service found dead in park, and death of former UK Marine Matthew Trickett charged with spying for Hong Kong sends shockwaves through city. Officials refuse to comment on speculation.
Yellen warns German banks to boost compliance with U.S. sanctions on Russia. Lithuania to raise taxes to cover higher defense expenditures, and Lithuanian border guards to be equipped with heavy weapons, announces minister. EU approves plan to use profits from frozen Russian assets. Finland airs bill to stop Russia's use of migrants as weapon.
Singapore says Taiwan one of most dangerous flashpoints in Beijing's rivalry with U.S. China starts punishment military drills around Taiwan days after island swears in new leader. Anwar says Malaysia doesn't have China-phobia policy, hopes Washington and Beijing resolve their differences.
Israel to restart Gaza talks after hostage video sparks outrage. Israel warns of serious consequences for ties with countries recognizing Palestinian state. Iran's Khamenei tells visiting Hamas chief that Israel will one day be eliminated.
In Spain, the Supreme Court confirms the expulsion of the first civil guard convicted of spreading racist hoaxes. Europe anxious over potential Trump return. Kosovo PM admits, false and extremely dangerous. In the U.S. Attorney General Garland hits Trump, saying Department of Justice had authorization to kill him during Mar-a-Lago raid.
In UK elections, Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer hit campaign trail as race for 10, Downing Street begins. In the UK, Number 10 refuses to honor Sunak's £1,000 Rwanda flights bet with Piers Morgan, and Sunak says no Rwanda deportation flights before election as campaigns begin. 3 months ago, Rishi Sunak accused of new low after betting £1,000 on Rwanda deportation flights, and Rishi Sunak says was taken totally by surprise when Piers Morgan offered him bet on small boats. Political consultant behind fake Biden robocalls faces $6 million fine and criminal charges. Top Biden campaign official held Zoom call with Haley supporters hours after she endorsed Trump. 1 day ago, Haley says she will vote for Trump, calls Biden a catastrophe. Cruz refuses to say whether he will unconditionally accept results of 2024 election. Car. Reportedly, Europe's new political consensus: we need to make more weapons. U.S. names Kenya major ally as Russian influence grows in Africa, and Kenya snags $3.6 billion highway deal in president's U.S. tour. As Kenya's Ruto, U.S. President Biden announced new investments to boost ties. U.S. expected to designate Kenya as major non-NATO ally, source says, as Biden pledges to designate Kenya as non-NATO ally during Ruto visit. Reportedly, 3 CIA operatives among 50 arrested in a failed coup in Congo. Putin signs decree to allow retaliatory seizure of U.S. assets in Russia. China condemns UK claims it's giving Russia combat gear, and US pushes back on British claim that China's sending lethal aid to Russia. Poland undecided on engaging air defenses against Russian missiles in Ukraine airspace.
Diddy admits beating former girlfriend Cassie, says he's sorry, calls his actions inexcusable. Abu Dhabi, once an untapped desert city, sees its first brewery open as UAE relaxes its alcohol laws. 706 people named Kyle got together in Texas. It wasn't enough for a world record.
Malaysia resort owner under fire for allegedly allowing wild swimsuit party. 12-year-old girl develops hole in stomach after eating nitrogen pawn at wedding reception in Bengaluru. Swiss court bans racist Mexican food brand Bimbo.
Russia jails hypersonic missile scientist for 14 years for treason. Russian general who criticized equipment shortages in Ukraine is arrested on bribery charges. In the UK, police chiefs told to arrest fewer people to save space in overcrowded prisons.
Former Boilermakers Union Chief of Staff pleads guilty to racketeering conspiracy. Texas Health Department appoints anti-abortion OBGYN to Maternal Mortality Committee. Justice Department and Department of Labor secure agreements with tech company Arthur Grant to resolve discriminatory, whites-only job posting.
Bezos Blue Origin launches first crew to edge of space since 2022 grounding. Under Armour to lay off employees as part of restructuring plan. Canadian women score historic rugby win, defeating New Zealand.
In Israel, toddler video superstar mess. Rachel launches Gaza fundraiser, dividing Jewish moms, and an airstrike kills 27 in central Gaza, and fighting rages as Israel's leaders are increasingly divided. Georgian President Salome Zurabishvili vetoes Russian law, which triggered mass protests, saying it's not constitutional or European. AI godfather Jeffrey Hinton says he's very worried about AI taking jobs and has advised the British government to adopt a universal basic income. In Italy, 1 in 10 people is in a condition of absolute poverty. China leaves benchmark lending rates unchanged, days after historic steps to stabilize crisis hit property sector. China's BYD nears deal to supply London's electric double-decker buses. Rivian uses Android Automotive OS to build its software experience. Italy seizes Fiat Topolinos over national flags on Moroccan cars.
AstraZeneca to build $1.5 billion cancer drug manufacturing plant in Singapore. Japan's rich will invest $1.4 trillion more by 2030, report says. Russian court seizes €700 million assets from UniCredit, Deutsche Bank and Commerzbank.
In New Caledonia, riots, inequalities, lack of indigenous voice expose failures of French democratic system. In the UK, visa curbs threaten to close universities, Cameron warns Sunak. In the U.S., Justice Department files lawsuit against the state of Oklahoma regarding unconstitutional state immigration law.
U.S. says it was unable to provide Iran assistance after helicopter crash, and France 24 comments as no proof that Israel or India are behind Ebrahim Raisi's fatal helicopter crash. Israel to return seized Associated Press camera, reverse block on Gaza live feed. Deutsche Welle reports that torturers deployed as UN peacekeepers.
Beck wins International Booker Prize for Karis, The Tale of a Tangled Love Affair. 2 words explain China export surge as Global South. U.S. seeks to join forces with Europe to combat excess Chinese goods, and Janet Yellen says G7 to discuss Chinese overproduction that significantly exceeds global demand at FM meeting in Italy. U.S. federal budget crosses grim milestone as interest payments overtake defense spending.
BMW Skytop concept makes early debut in leaked official video. Toyota hints at a GR Corolla with an automatic transmission. Senate report finds parts made with China's forced labor in cars by BMW, Jaguar Land Rover, and VW.
Hyundai eyes first hydrogen supercar by 2026. Lamborghini's CEO says fully electric supercars are not something that is selling so far. Ford's CEO Jim Farley says he'll fight to keep. Trump says he won't give one penny to schools with vaccine mandate. 2 months ago, Trump vows to cut federal funds for schools with vaccine mandates. North Carolina Republicans vote to ban masks in public, even for cancer patients. U.S. pediatricians group reverses decades-old ban on breastfeeding for those with HIV.
Japan weighs incentivizing childbirth by fully covering expenses. Trump says he's looking at policies that would restrict birth control access. NBC unveils gay Animal Kingdom documentary series Queer Planet for Pride that will showcase gay penguins, bisexual lions, and fish that change sex.
China clears Eli Lilly's weight loss drug, only for diabetes now. GSK experimental drug reduces severe asthma attacks in trial. Hong Kong Shaw Prize awarded to 2 scientists for study into treatment for blood disorder affecting 20 million.
Deadly opioids smuggled into UK in dog food, BBC learns, and synthetic opioids previously linked to UK deaths are being advertised for sale on social media. California advances bill for porn site age verification. Chinese-led team's ultrasound robot uses AI for thyroid scan results close to that of doctors. Latrodectus malware loader emerges as IcedID's successor in phishing campaigns.
Track Power settles ahead of trial. Slash says Guns N' Roses are trying to make a new album. A24 landing U.S. rights deal for 2 times Palme d'Or winner Ruben Östlund's next movie The Entertainment System is Down, starring Keanu Reeves, Kirsten Dunst and Daniel Bruhl. Japanese animation powerhouse Studio Ghibli makes history with honorary Palme d'Or at Cannes.
From Ryan Gosling to Emma Stone, At Least 17, Saturday Night Live, hosts submit for Guest Acting Emmy for Season 49. Screening of graphic October 7th Hamas attack movie cancelled in Cannes amid serious security risk. Aaron Eckhart to star as U.S. President in action pic, Raider, from Con Air, director Simon West.
IGN Entertainment acquires Eurogamer, GI, VG247, Rock Paper Shotgun, and more. Graceland is headed for foreclosure as Elvis Presley's granddaughter fights sale and alleges fraud. Engineers make Dune stillsuit that turns pee, sweat into drinkable water. Diddy's music streams plunge following graphic hotel footage of him assaulting Cassie, and Sean Diddy Combs allegedly paid $50,000 to obtain hotel security footage of Cassie assault, claimed in the lawsuit. Also, Peloton removes Diddy content from its platforms. 50 Cent's P. Diddy documentary bought by Netflix after massive bidding war.
South Korean monk DJ enrages Malaysian Buddhist community for leading nightclub revelers in prayer dance. Pope Francis clears sainthood for Italian millennial known as God's influencer. In India, PM Modi invites ridicule for saying he is not biological, but sent by God.
Steven Spielberg sets new film for summer 2026, reunites with Jurassic Park and War of the Worlds screenwriter. PlayStation executive predicts focus will shift from graphics to immersive narratives. Lisa Koshy, Cody Rhodes, CCH Pounder and Busta Rhymes round out cast of Naked Gun reboot.
Jeremy Renner says he's accepted that he'll be in recovery for the rest of my life. Chris Hemsworth receives star on Hollywood Walk of Fame, says wife Elsa Pataky put aside her own dreams to support mine. Forever in your debt. You can never break the casino. NBA legend Charles Barkley reflects on losing $25 million in Las Vegas.
Proteins in blood could warn of cancer 7 years before diagnosis, scientists find. Chinese scientists discover Milky Way's halo is filled with huge donut-shaped magnetic fields. The Iberian lynx doubles its population in just 3 years and reaches 2,000 individuals.
Copper-coated steel promises 90% bacterial elimination from surfaces. Study finds widespread cell cannibalism and related phenomena across tree of life.
New discoveries about the nature of light could improve methods for heating fusion plasma. Scientists discover how to grow diamonds from scratch in 15 minutes. Euclid Space Telescope reveals more than 300,000 new objects in first 24 hours of observations. Crows can deliberately plan how many calls to make. Study shows researchers reveal dynamic structure of FLVCR proteins and their function in nutrient transport. Japan may allow hunters to fire on bears in residential, commercial areas.
Confidential UN report exposes Lazarus Group's $147.5 million stolen crypto transfer to North Korea. Pump.Fun exploiter claims he was arrested in UK and now on bail. A fake South China Morning Post article features Hong Kong singer GEM promoting online trading app.
Bitcoin price to soar as Japan's economy worsens, as commented by BitMEX's Arthur Hayes. Kronos research hacker moves $3.7 million to Tornado Cash after Ethereum price surge. UK High Court judge says Craig Wright lied extensively and repeatedly in COPA lawsuit over Satoshi Bitcoin copyright claims. Ethereum beats MasterCard by market cap, ahead of ETH spot ETF's approval by the SEC. CBOE publishes amended spot Ether ETF filings as industry renews approval hopes. Ethereum-based Twitter rival Farcaster raises $150 million.
CC. In the U.S., crypto engagement dropped to 7% among U.S. adults in 2023, Federal Reserve finds. Bankman-Fried's $30 million Bahamas penthouse is hitting the market. In the U.S., House of Representatives passed Emmer's bill that would prohibit the Federal Reserve from issuing a surveillance-style central bank digital currency, CBDC, that could give the federal government the ability to monitor and control individual Americans' spending habits. Hong Kong sees third major cryptocurrency exchange withdraw license application as Gate.io unit drops out. In the U.S., SEC approves rule change to allow creation of Ether ETFs as SEC approves Ethereum ETFs, aligning ETH closer to commodity and industry win.
Putin oppose acts of military intimidation against Korea by U.S. in joint statement. China vows to punish critical Taiwanese commentators, families for slander. Chinese troops travel by rail to Mongolia for first joint army drill, in sign of growing strategic ties.
French security forces work to regain control of airport highway in violence-scorched New Caledonia. Democratic Republic of Congo Army says it stopped attempted coup involving 3 U.S. citizens and Congo coup leader killed in foiled attack, presidency says. U.S. troops and equipment will leave Niger by mid-September, the Pentagon says.
Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and Foreign Minister confirmed dead in helicopter crash. European Commission activates satellite mapping service to help with search for Iran's Raisi. Iran Vice President Mokber to assume interim duties after Raisi's death in helicopter crash. International Criminal Court seeks arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Hamas leaders. Bernie Sanders breaks from Biden and Blinken to support ICC's arrest warrant request, where Biden slams ICC arrest warrant request for Netanyahu as outrageous, and Blinken says he'll work with U.S. Congress on potential ICC sanctions. France backs ICC after it seeks arrest warrants for Israel's Netanyahu, Hamas leaders, and Amal Clooney is one of the legal experts who recommended war crimes charges in Israel and Hamas war.
2 more Russian officials arrested in widening military corruption probe, and BBC reports that Rosenberg comments, Russian President Putin's military purge echoes Prigozhin's call to act. Hong Kong minister demands UK give details on death of Matthew Trickett, accused of spying for City. Malaysia's 1MDB sues Petrosaudi executive, seeking $1.83 billion after it says sham venture made it believe a Saudi king-owned oil company. Argentina rejects International Criminal Court's arrest warrant for Netanyahu. With ICC decision, Germany says it will arrest Netanyahu if PM visits country. We will comply with the law. Reportedly, Israeli volunteers falsified accusation against Hamas for sexual assault, agency says. Recently in Israel, hostage families release clip of 5 female troops' abduction to push for their freedom. UN to establish Srebrenica Genocide Memorial Day despite Serbian opposition. Malaysia's Anwar under pressure to ditch airport deal with BlackRock entity over Israel arms links. In New Caledonia riots, France's Emmanuel Macron delays voting reform, TikTok ban stays.
EU seeks to stop Russia's imports of Western luxury cars via Belarus.